In Clair Obscur Expedition 33, death is routine, but grief shapes everything that comes after. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 may be my new favorite game of all time. This debut release from Sandfall Interactive reimagines turn-based combat, refines the genre, and yet none of that compares to the depth of its story, the complexity of its characters, and the sublime music that permeates every scene. What's up, guys? I'm Shay from the channel Zachary Shay, where I talk about fantasy books, but also movies, comics, manga, and even sometimes video games, but mainly fantasy novels. And today I'm going to be talking about Clair Obscur Expedition 33 and how it examines the themes of grief. And hope you guys enjoy. Peace.
Grief often blinds us, and we make choices we can never take back.
You grieve for two.
I grieve for many.
At its chroma-colored core, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is about grief. It's about characters experiencing immense loss and trying to carry on with the overwhelming weight of said loss bearing down on their shoulders. Much like The Last of Us, God of War 2018, and Final Fantasy VI, we follow heroes that have suffered, that have lost those they cared about, and much like the protagonists in those games, our heroes carry on, they persevere.
For those who come after. Right?
I say heroes, and while all of our party members are heroic, each in their own way, they are not heroes of light destined to save the world. Many of them are selfish. Some are living in the shadows of their trauma. And some are just 1 second away from giving in to the bleak reality of this near nihilistic world. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Our story begins with Gustave, a man from Lumiere, who, like many denizens of the fractured island city, has come to accept the loss in the world around him. Death has become routine for him and his friends.
If you're gonna give someone flowers, you should probably do it before they wither and die.
What, the flower? Or Sophie?
Ooh, dark. Sophie would approve. Hey, you said it, not me. The others are waiting for you. You're supposed to be helping with the festival.
With what? Putting up 3 tables? They'll manage.
You underestimate Lumiere's enthusiasm for the expedition. There's at least 5 tables.
Marvelous.
For the past 67 years, the Gamage has taken friends, family, loved ones from each of them. As the paintress etches a descending number on her monolith, all those of that age are erased, leaving only ashes and flower petals in their wake, erased from the canvas of their cruelly painted world. It is somewhat morbid that Gustave's gift to Sophie in the opening hour of the game is a flower. As Gustave is throwing pebbles at the paintress's monolith, he is approached by Maëlle, his foster sister, and they make a joke about Sophie withering and dying. This morbid joke is in firm contrast to the level of love and adoration that Gustave still has for Sophie. When Gustave jokes about Sophie's death, it's not heartless, it's a defense mechanism. Humor becomes survival in a world where loss is inevitable. Death has become such a routine occurrence that the day of the Gamage can even be joked about.
I'm here.
Our expeditioners have experienced loss all their lives and have seen that number in the sky since the day they were born. They have always known that their existence was brief.
Which expedition are you from?
When the expedition is decimated by Renoir, we are put right in the bloody boots of Gustave, and we feel the very same visceral reaction painted on his face. He thinks his friends and his foster sister dead, and in a moment of unrivaled despair, he puts his gun to his head.
You do that, we both die.
It is only Lune's words that stop him. She tells him that if he kills himself, he's killing them both. This moment speaks to how well Lune understands Gustave. Our protagonist of Act 1 is the antithesis to the members of the Desandre family, but more on them later. Lune knows that only by making Gustave think of her and her fate will he find the means to power through. It was never about him, it was always about his loved ones, his apprentices, Maëlle. In fact, many times Gustave decides to go against expedition protocol to pursue Maëlle. Lune disagrees. Her whole life she has been taught to follow directives to the T, to be the perfect daughter, the perfect apprentice, and now the perfect expeditioner. Gustave's language seems almost hopeless at times, but Lune is the one who is constantly thinking of what is next for the mission.
She'll be fine.
They find Maëlle in the manor with the mysterious figure known as the Curator. Later, Ciel is found in the Gestro village. Both are overjoyed to see Gustave, and the player gets the idea that all members of the party have a bond with Gustave. Lune plays her guitar and gives them some bardic inspiration. Ciel bonds over memories of them getting into trouble as kids growing up in Lumiere.
Still too far.
And Maëlle and him throw rocks at the monolith, and they both promise to run if they ever come into contact with Renoir again. It is a promise Gustave was doomed to break.
Being out here isn't what I expected.
As expected. Hey. You okay?
Death out here's not like death in Lumiere, is it? I thought I was used to losing people. I've have a foster child, right? But not like that. On the beach. That man.
Yeah, I know. Nevrons we were prepared for, but not. And now we've finally found other survivors, and it's... You know, that's the insidious thing about the Gommage. It's predictable, almost gentle. It makes Lumiere complacent and accepting, but... The Gommage is equally violent than death. Death is just as final.
I've been having nightmares.
Yeah, me too. Look, if death approaches, I want you to run. No, promise me. Run. Especially if we meet the man from the beach. We can't face him. You see him, you run.
Only if you do the same.
Oh, I'm running as soon as I see a strand of white hair, trust me. You won't even see me, I'm running so fast.
Oh, please, you're an old man. I can outrun you any day.
Yeah, right. Ooh, what about that one?
Does it really matter?
Well, you know, like I always say, it's not about the rock. It's more about...
Gustav.
He promised to run in the other direction, but he chooses those who come after over his own well-being, selfless to the very end. After Mael is saved by Verso, we get a scene with Lune and CL. Lune, who has prioritized moving forward, is now adamant about updating the journals. Could this be her adhering to expedition protocol, or is it that she no longer believes their mission will succeed in the wake of Gustav's loss?
Expedition 32 will bring more. Their chances will be better. We need to prepare them. I should update our journals.
Hey. It's okay.
Enter Verso. At the start of Act 2, most of the party felt a certain level of caution surrounding Verso, a sentiment that I, the player, shared. His introduction was hot off the heels after Gustav's tragic departure from the narrative, and Verso inheriting Gustav's level and stats, as well as Pictos and Luminos points, made it feel like the game was trying to replace a character I had grown so attached to. I carried this caution for our new reticent party member through a good portion of the narrative. It's clear that Verso is hiding something from us. He gives us an immediate explanation that he was part of Expedition Zero, and that Renoir and the other surviving members of Expedition Zero were given immortality, and that immortality is in some way tied to the Paintress. While this initial explanation holds some truth to it, the whole picture is occluded by lies and mistruths. These lies and secrets surface once the party is separated. After holding a funeral for Gustav and recruiting Monoko, by the way, his boss battle music lives rent-free in my head.
Brace yourselves.
Finesse, grace.
The party is then split when Monoko exerts himself a little too much while clearing a path. As Lune, CL, and Monoko try to reunite with Verso and Mael, Lune questions Verso's verity. She doesn't trust him, and Monoko is silent. When this trio comes across an expedition journal, Lune unravels part of the secrets Verso has been keeping. When the party meets up outside the manor, it is revealed to the player that Verso is Renoir's son, but unbeknownst to us, we just came face to face with the Paintress herself.
I knew you'd open the door for her.
Really, Verso? This was your plan? Must you hurt our family?
No, you don't get to lecture me on family.
Why do you refuse to see I am doing this for us? Yet you insist on rushing toward death. You're trying to stop the wrong cycle.
You're doing this for yourself.
Of course. It's easier for you to think that, isn't it? Easier to betray us if I'm the villain.
So move. I'm gonna fucking kill him.
You haven't told her the truth, have you, son?
Sorry we're late. We were busy doing a bit of reading. Were you planning on sharing that this man, the man who murdered our team, is your father?
Family is not my favorite topic. Right, can we talk about this later? I'd really like for you all to survive this.
Noko is killed in the battle against Renoir, and Monoko laments the loss of his friend. The quiet strength with which the Gestrel carries his loss is not so unlike the people of Lumiere. The party then faces off against the Axons, both of whom are modeled after Renoir and Aline's children. Visages, he who guards truth with many lies, is Renoir's painted version of Verso, though we as the player know it not, and likewise, Seren is modeled after Clair. Besting the Axons gives our heroes the power to reach the Paintress. Before they set out, Painted Alicia, the girl with all the burns who seems to constantly mirror Mael, hands Verso a letter. Our party sets out to face the Paintress, but upon facing her, the party is unable to score even 1 point of damage.
Feel the embrace of fire.
We then enter the monolith and fight through many of the zones we have played through throughout the game. Before we reach the Paintress, we face Renoir again, and Mael gets her vengeance for Gustave. Verso appears saddened by his father's passing, but as we who have beaten the game know, it was always in his plan for the canvas to disappear. The party vanquishes the Paintress, but before we are allowed to finish the job, the Paintress throws the shield up for a party member, and she seems to take a substantially less aggressive stance towards the party as a whole.
Is it over?
No, we're not done yet.
After she dies, the party returns to Lumiere. The return home is bittersweet. The heroes seemingly vanquish the big bad, and if this were Final Fantasy, that might be the end of things. Mael gives Gustave's journal to his apprentices, and you can see it in the children's eyes that they, much like Lune at the end of Act 1, had assigned a certain strength to Gustave. They never really believed he would die. This just further highlights how powerful of a presence Gustave was, that even children who have seen adults they know and care about Gommage every year, losing Gustave was too much. After this heartbreaking scene, we are shown Verso reading Alicia's letter, and it's clear that he was supposed to give it to Mael, and in Verso fashion, he kept his secret. He drops his note into the water just before the Gommage occurs. Everyone, with the exception of Verso, is gommaged, Mael being last. And here in Act 3, we finally get the big reveal. The whole world we were fighting for is a fake, a canvas, a young boy's fantasy world that his mother has been wasting away in because she, in her grief, could not bear the immense weight of his loss. The burned girl, Alicia, Verso's sister, though without the masquerade aesthetic, wakes up in the manor after dreaming about Verso burning. We are then shown the full picture. Alicia's older sister Clair tells her, very bluntly and derisively, that Verso died because of her, because she trusted the writers. We are never given an explanation of what happened, but we know that Verso died saving Alicia from the fire that cost her her voice and her eye, and burned her. This Descendre family proper that we are introduced to in Act 3, albeit briefly, is at the center of this story.
You're as bad as Aline. He's not Verso. He's a painted copy built from our mother's memories. You do well to remember that.
It was this family's inability to cope with Verso's loss that led to all the pain that affected the people of Lumiere. Gustave, Lune, Ciel, Sophie, and even the Gestrels, Monoko, and Esquier. Aline wasted away in her son's painting because she could not overcome the grief of his loss, and she painted a perfect family to live in her fantasy world. Perfect in that Verso was alive and that Renoir would protect her painted family. Alicia she painted with the scars, partly out of resentment for getting Verso killed. Of all the painted family members, I found Verso fascinating because the very thing that made him act out and fight against Aline was the love he has for his family. When she created Painted Verso, she couldn't help but pour his selflessness and his love for his family into the painted version, because Verso was the type of character that would do anything for his family. After Mael returns and brings back Lune and Ciel, we are ready to fight the real Renoir, to keep the canvas safe and to bring back all those we have lost. Or so we think. In defeating Renoir, we are shown that this man is no monster trying to destroy his son's world. He has only ever tried to hold on to his family that is falling apart before his very eyes. Verso sees the pain Aline is subjecting herself to by not processing her grief, and he knows the same will happen to Alicia, so he asks the last piece of the true Verso's soul to stop painting. We, as the player, decide between Verso and Mael. Mael, who wished to keep the canvas intact, Verso guesses that if she has her way, she will not leave the canvas. It is out of love for her that Verso fights, and it is out of a stubborn and selfish desire to hold on to what she has that drives Mael to fight Verso. At this point in the game, I loved Mael and her journey. I had always felt suspicious of Verso and his many secrets, but in that moment, seeing that fading boy painting away, I made my decision and sided with Verso.
That's... You shouldn't be able to be here.
Mamon's gift.
Why did you run in? It's dangerous for you here.
See things as they are, not how you want them to be.
What?
You lied to your father.
No.
He saw it too. But he wanted to believe. You're going to die here. Why don't you just leave? You can always come back.
The moment I leave, Papa will erase this canvas.
This is not worth your life.
What life? My life of loneliness in a shell of a body, with no voice and no future.
You're Mael. No matter where you are, you don't need this canvas.
But everything I want is here. Here I have a chance to live, Verso, to live. Out there I merely exist.
Life keeps forcing cruel choices.
Stop quoting Papa!
It's time to stop painting.
Once Mael was forced from the painting, our heroes embrace his friends before they are taken by one last gommage.
Don't do this. Don't leave me again.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, huh? You've got this incredible power to paint. You'll never have to suffer a life you don't want. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. I will miss you guys.
But what I find to be a far more interesting ending, albeit the wrong one, is the Mael ending. In this closure of the story, Verso cries in Mael's arms, begging her to unpaint him. And she is in so much pain. Her brother is dead and nothing will ever change that, but now the painted version of him yearns for death. We cut to Mael and her friends all coming together for some performance. Ciel's husband is there, as is Gustave and Sophie, but Verso is absent until he steps out on stage to play his piano. It's expressed several times in the game that Verso loves music more than he ever loved painting, but he seems reluctant to play, and his bereaved trepidation permeates the scene. But as we get a close-up on Mael, we realize that she is forcing Verso to play this role as her brother. I wonder if this Verso is the same as the one from Expedition 33, or if this is a more pliable version of Alicia's dead brother. Either way, her inability to process her grief has doomed this poor painted soul to a tortuous existence. This ending also makes it clear that the sentient life within the canvas can be robbed of free will by the painters. Something we will see happen with Simon and the original painted Clair, but that is perhaps a topic for another video. One final note before I leave you. I want to mention a side quest in Act 3, Mael's, where we fight to the top of the tower and where Mael faces Alicia in front of the Axon modeled after Renoir's youngest daughter. It is in this side quest that Mael gommages painted Alicia without ever giving Verso the chance to say goodbye. And when pressed, she states that she wanted to go and that she couldn't make her stay, but she did just that when Verso asked for the same thing. She keeps all those she loves close to her, squeezing so tight that she hurts them. But did she see painted Alicia as competition? Is that why she gommaged her without a second thought? Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Let me know down in the comments below if you think I should do more video essays, discussions, more Clair Obscur content. I can maybe do something on Simon and Clair, or even go into character deep dives of CL and her little fear of water, all that sort of stuff. Or if you want to see me do other video game content, I'm currently playing Final Fantasy IV, the Pixel Remaster version on my PS5. And I plan on playing Death Stranding, God of War Ragnarok, and Final Fantasy XVI in the not too distant future. Peace!